We have two factors now going. This is the cow's urine. This is why it's used in India as a medicinal. It's used for medicinal uses because you can see it's alkaline, and it did have some antioxidants, okay? But really, I mean, brothers and sisters, who wants to drink urine, from the cow? You can't drink it, and you can't satisfy your thirst with that. You really can't. And these are both Kangen water. This was poured into the bottle yesterday, and this was poured into the bottle today, and you can clearly see this is very alkaline water.
Good.
So, there are 6 stages of acidity, okay? And let's see how you feel about them. So the first one would be sensitivity. You have acne, you have body odor. You mostly feeling the most common symptom of sensitivity is low energy. You're feeling fatigue. You're feeling tired. You feel like you slept but you wake up tired. You feel like you rested but you're still tired. The second stage, irritation. So most common symptoms will be your GI tract. So you'll experience some runs to the bathroom. Maybe even the other way when you can't go for days. You all heard about irritable bowel syndrome disease, unfortunately. So that's the true irritation to the gut, okay? And when the gut's not working properly in the body, we've already talked about that one system is connected to the other. Nothing's really gonna work well. The third one is a mucus formation. Now mucus formation binds acid. It binds, it extracts, and it keeps the acid in the body, okay? So then what happens? Then inflammation in the body will happen. And inflammation is a door that opens to chronic diseases, okay? We're talking about arthritis, fibromyalgia, diabetes. All of those you're very familiar with. Somebody in your family had one way or another that kind of a disease, okay? Because it invites them in with inflammation. That's the doorway that opens. Then next thing you know,
can you explain what is the effect on mind of this water?
Yeah, so I will, that's the next one. Okay. So then we have induration, which is hardening of the arteries. So all your blood will accumulate in arteries, okay? We're talking cardiac health here. And I had somebody in my family that had a triple bypass because there was a plaque in one of the arteries, and unfortunately had to have a major surgery and had to take the plug out and bypass that because couldn't use that valve anymore. Major surgery, and it's life-threatening. It's serious. This water has properties, and I will show you this. It can emulsify fat. It can clean up the arteries, so you can prevent it. And then the last one, unfortunately, the degeneration. That's where osteoporosis happens for women because all of that acidity eats at the bones and makes them brittle and makes them very weak. Cancer thrives in acidity, okay? So cancer really does thrive in acidity. Unfortunately, the cells mutate when they're not, when the water is, when there's no antioxidants, water should prepare. Cells and red blood cells should be propelled from one to another and not cluster together.
Yeah.
When your sugar is high in your veins, in your arteries, when there is no antioxidants going on to propel from one another, push them away. This is my space, this is my space. When it becomes too crowded, cells will mutate until it will form plaque, okay? So that's a problem. And cancer loves to thrive in acidic environments. It loves, it's its natural habitat. So the third one I'm going to talk about is microclustering. And as Krishnaji had mentioned, brain. That's a huge powerhouse to everything. You have one brain in this body. If you lose that brain, the body is going to be no good because it's essential for everything, every function. So why am I saying that? It's because the studies have proven that this water can hydrate your brain within 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And how does that happen? It's because the third property of Kangen water is called microclustering. So the regular water that comes out of your tap, comes out of your faucet, we all know the water has molecules, right? We all know that it's composed of molecules, and there are certain sizes and they cluster together. So that's the molecules, the clustered molecules is what comes out of your faucet in a very high speed. That's how you get water. So the molecules that are in the tap water, they're really much bigger because they're in clusters 10 to 20. Okay, so 10 to 20. We'll show the seeds, maybe with the seeds, how it can get into the seeds.
Yeah.
Because of the small molecules, and then this, and so that's non-ionized water. The non-ionized water, that's, you know, that doesn't have any antioxidation, nothing like that, comes out in those huge clusters. The water that Kangen machine produces, about 4 to 6 molecules the max. So our body is composed of all kinds of a matrix system that delivers oxygen via red blood cells. The smaller systems in our body that needs that oxygen is called capillaries, and they're in our lungs. Now, in our lungs, they need the oxygen supply, they need the water supply. This water can penetrate that very, very fast. The tap water, hardly ever. And we will demonstrate to you how that's done. The water gets into everything because it penetrates deep due to a small molecules.
Is it equal?
It is equal. So let's try this. This is a regular water that comes out of your tap that they put in these water bottles and sell. This is Kangen. So actually, you can see the effect. Some more? You can see the effect right away, honestly. Even from far away, you can see that this water is kind of still staying white, and this water is getting yellow in color. Now, why might that be? These are small itty bitty seeds. They're very tiny seeds. They're, what are they? Fennel or cumin? Celery seeds, perhaps, I don't know. But they're seeds, tiny. So, because the molecules of the water are much smaller here, they can penetrate, just like they would penetrate your capillaries in your lungs, in your brain. It really gets everywhere. This is not doing anything.
Yeah.
It is really what I say, the microclustering of the water. It ensures better hydration, you know, because the absorption abilities. The ionized water enhances the ability for the blood to carry oxygen into the smallest capillaries in your bodies, and you're feeling less tired, less fatigue. You hydrate your body, you hydrate every single thing in your body. Just look at it.
Yeah.
It's not going away. It's getting more yellow.
Yes.
And this?
It has done it. Water has done its work, but here it is not able.
The water has done its work. That's correct. So those are the most important properties of the water. Like oxidation, alkalinity, and microclustering.
Yeah. You have shown microclustering.
I want to show you also one more cool trick. I have talked about the arteries in our body and the plaque that it can accumulate from cholesterol and unfortunately from some not great habits that we have, not great foods that we eat or sources. So we're learning more and more as science progresses, teaches us valuable lessons, right? So I want to show you how this water can emulsify fat. And what does it mean? It can be used as a medicine if you drink about 30 to 60 mLs of this water, no more than that per day, for about 10 days, it'll break up all that plaque. So if you want to avoid triple bypass surgery, I recommend you clean up.
I can give you fresh water of 11.5. No?
So we will use this oil as our fat. And we're gonna have a
Can I show machine in camera? Can I show machine in camera?
yeah. So Miss Krishna G is getting a strong water,
11.5.
11.5 pH, and it's fresh. It just came out of the machine that she has purchased. And I will demonstrate.
Emulsifying.
Mhm.
And one more.
I'm gonna put 10 drops of oil into each empty cup, and then I'm gonna use the Kangen water in one.
Yes.
And regular water in the other. Now let's see what happens. Thank you. I love this difference. Okay, so 10 drops. Let's count. 1,